This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, Jatin. Yeah, so that's true because there are two things, right? Like in our course,
Mm,
one is you get good understanding of different cloud components, like especially the Kubernetes and all, right? So that
yeah,
is already there. Chaos engineering, obviously, you will learn what is chaos engineering, but before that, what I will say is you will learn a good, you will have a good understanding of cloud, right? So utilize
yeah,
that
that's good.
very well.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because
definitely.
even like what you said is exactly correct because the cloud is growing very much, and
Mm,
currently even like because I am handling architect role, right? So we
okay,
have two work, not two work means basically one main work is our obviously our customer dealings and all, right? The second work which we have is the overall more sort of like a we can say a managerial role, right? So there we work
mm,
on different proposals, different migrations and all. So it will not be like
right.
related to only one customer. It will be like multiple. So
Yeah,
currently we got one proposal from one X organization based out of US. So they are like moving from
okay,
mainframe to cloud, right?
okay,
So
okay,
yes, so obviously cloud is growing, and yeah, it's the talk of the market. And
exactly.
what I
Yeah.
will say is we are like we should not delay further, okay? Because cloud is required. Yes,
Yes, yes, yes, of course. I mean,
yeah,
that is something we are seeing it.
correct. And you openly ask any questions related to cloud, okay? So if it is not even covered in the course also, at least I can give you an overview, okay? Anything you want to
Definitely.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Okay, Jatin. Yeah. Survi, hi.
Hello, sir.
Hi. So where are you located, Survi, and what you're doing currently?
I'm from Noida and I'm
Yeah.
doing for automation testing.
Okay, okay, right. Hmm. So I can see even Jatin also automation. So yeah, it's good. Like both of you are trying to expand your domain. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sagar.
Yes, sir. So I'm into the
Hi.
performance only. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'm in. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
into the
good. That's good.
performance
Yeah.
located at
So already
Hyderabad
you,
only.
so how are you like, you are aware about cloud concepts and all, Sagar, in a high level way?
Yeah, yeah. I'm currently working in cloud network services only.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
around
yeah, so you might
two and a half
feel,
years experience in the 2.5 years experience in the network services cloud. So remaining in the normal
okay. Yeah.
performance.
Right, right. Yeah, so you might feel a little easier in grasping concepts because, as I said, like chaos engineering is also a non-functional testing. So since you're already
Yeah.
into an NFT domain, it will be easier for you to grasp. Yeah.
So the key
Yeah.
difference for uh, normal performance testing and chaos performance testing means in normal performance testing we are injecting the load to the all the true statement, true
Mhm.
injects only, right? So there is no
Yeah.
false
Mhm.
statements.
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay,
basically, here, see,
so that's the
here
key
you are
difference, right?
injecting. One is obviously, see, Sagar, like the main difference here is one, just to call out in a very low level way. Low level means so that you can make it out easily. For example, now let's say in performance, when you load a system, okay, the CPU, the resource utilizations might shoot, okay, but in performance, you might not study what will happen when a service is down. Like for example, let's say a payment gateway is down, okay, because payment gateway is third party, right? So if that payment gateway is down, how will your application respond or react, right? So that you cannot study using performance. We need to have a chaos engineering tool to study that and to understand how the system is behaving, what are the cascading issues that will happen due to that, right? Getting, Sagar?
Yeah, Vishnu, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay. Like you, with more time, you will it will become more clearer because when we go to the attacks, when we see how the attack is happening, what the attack is doing, and how we monitor what we monitor, so that time things will become more clearer. Okay.
So as part of this testing, we are covering performance as well as security testing as well, right? I'm
I
assuming
will not
that.
say that. Consider chaos engineering
Okay.
as a different testing, okay, Sagar?
Okay.
Yeah. So chaos engineering is
Oh,
more about infrastructure. So it's more sort of, see, like let's say you are predicting a failure. Like, okay, tomorrow this might happen, and you resolve it before that,
okay.
right? So, for
Okay.
example,
Yeah.
let's say, okay, tomorrow my network latency will be very high. Okay, so due to that network latency, how my application will respond. And now, if I observe, okay, my application is failing under latency, so I need to fix it, right? So before it happens to my user or before it happens in production, I test it in my lower environments and fix it, right? Yeah.
Um,
Hi Nagraj.
Hey,
Nagraj,
hi
are you there?
Vishnu.
Hi.
Yeah,
How are
yeah,
you?
I'm here. I'm good, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Uh, Nagraj, so where are you located currently?
Hyderabad.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Reddy. Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah, hi Vishnu, good evening.
Hi. So Reddy, you're located at which time zone?
I'm from Bangalore.
Okay, okay. So all are anyone from different time zone than India? No one, right? Currently? Okay, that's good. Hi Vishnu.
Hi, Vishnu. I'm located in Hyderabad.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah. So let's start. It was a nice introduction of the audience because in that way I
Have a
get to understand. Yeah, Vishnu.
yeah. So, if you come to the jobs, like will it be a different job role, chaos engineering, or like same performance tester will be doing the um, chaos engineering?
Yeah. So there are two ways. Okay. If your project is little big and they have a good budget, okay, they keep a separate role. Okay, but if your project is like they are not much worried about not worried about, I will use the word, like for example the performance engineers have bandwidth, that's what they think. Okay, like for example, let's say the work is little low or maybe they have the bandwidth, then they what they do is they upskill the performance engineer to perform chaos engineering. Because if I remember, there were few corporate trainings which I did, and what they were expecting is actually in that even there were functional testers also. So functional testers, performance engineers, then even people like the SRE, right? SRE role people uh, in that training. So what that company wanted, it was a big company. So they wanted these people to get upskilled in chaos.
Okay,
So two ways. So there are single role, also like a what we can say a shared role, right? Yes, both ways.
okay. So,
Yeah,
is chaos engineering part of SRE?
yeah.
Okay,
Even SRE also, yes. SRE mainly the chaos engineering actually comes under their jurisdiction. So jurisdiction means like even when a performance engineer does any chaos engineering activity, it is actually reviewed by an SRE generally.
okay, okay.
Okay, so yes, yeah. Hi Prem, good morning. Sorry, good evening. I just actually sometimes get because
Hi,
I
hi
work with
Vishnu.
multiple yeah time zone people,
Good
right? So
evening.
yeah, sometimes it's good morning, good evening confusion.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I hope it's good evening there, right?
Yes, it's a good evening here.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So what are you doing, Prem, currently? Which location you are?
Currently, I'm residing in Malta, Europe.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So we have one extra time zone. Yeah. So yeah. So how's the time, Prem? This time is
it's 5:30
pretty
now.
much.
5:30
Hmm.
evening.
So you are like working still, or
Yes, yes, I'm
you're
working.
off
Like
work?
I work for 9 to 5, and I
Okay,
can
that's good.
registration
Like,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
so good to hear that you are because that small time also you're using for upskilling. That's really good
yeah,
because actually what I'm observing in the market is there are opportunities, but the skill is not there, right? Even in
yeah,
our project also, we are looking for people now currently, for example, to call out. Okay, uh, this SAP is like a very niche domain if anyone has worked in it, right? So the SAP performance engineering or performance testers we are not getting, right? For example, I'm saying, uh, so there are some niche skills where though we are into that performance testing or performance engineering domain, like there are a lot of people, but they might not know this SAP what they do, right? What test type of testing we need to do in SAP. But actually, if you see, it's not about SAP. They don't know the main skill, or they lack that main skill of DB performance engineering. If someone has worked on it, if for into performance, right? The database performance engineering, you anyone is aware, then that becomes very because obviously a company is not looking into like you should have worked on SAP, but you should know that fundamentals, right, in the background. Similarly, chaos engineering is also like that only. So people like whenever we look for people, they would have worked on it, but they without knowing the fundamentals, like for example, someone would have just ran a chaos test, but what was the outcome, right? What's the ROI, or like what is that you are bringing onto the table by doing that? So that we need to uh, yeah, so keep upskilling, that's what. So that's a good thing, like just within half an hour time you are just trying to utilize it to learn. That's good. Even others also,
yeah.
like it's late night where people are
We
like
wanted to implement
happily.
this chaos engineering in our project, so that's why
Yes,
I'm
yes,
just
yeah,
looking
yeah.
into this question.
Even
Yeah,
today also, I got one previous batch. My student, actually, she's working in US, so they are implementing, but there are some budget issues. So they want to implement Chaos Mesh, right? Because it's an open source tool, right? Gremlin is not possible for them because it's a paid tool. So yeah, just working with her to because obviously she was my student, so can't say no. So just helping her to implement it. Yeah. So yes, you always what I will say is just at least if they are not implementing it, at least start the POC, right? Put some emails to your manager or whoever is the lead, right? And start a POC, increase your visibility, right? That yeah, I know chaos engineering and I'm doing a POC. Though there is no project requirement or nothing, but once you start doing POC and you show the outcome, right? Automatically things will change. Okay, so yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone, before I jump in further? I just wanted a casual talk initially, just so that everyone gets an idea of because obviously this topic is little off-road, right? Like what from what we do, everyone is not that aware. But nowadays, people are getting at least to know, okay, there is a domain like this and there is a requirement, right? Because if I remember last month, one of my student they were calling out, right? There was a role in Tesla actually for a chaos engineer in US. Okay, not in India, but so yeah, so it's slowly getting hold of the market. Obviously, as the cloud grows, this domain will grow, right? Okay, so right. So what we will do now is I want all of your email IDs and maybe your number also in the message chat so that I can share my, I mean, like some materials with you all through either through, but I think through WhatsApp I can get your number, but I don't want to just keep searching so that I can get it in one place. Yeah, if possible, type in your email ID and your mobile number, okay, or WhatsApp number, so that I can send out some materials to you all, which will be like a public material. The private ones I will share with you all once we start the course. But there are some materials which I keep for the people who join the demos with you all. So yeah, and so that will be useful for you. Like for example, there will be a lot of different types of like a overview of understanding of chaos engineering, what it is and all, right in that. Yeah. Okay. So
Uh,
let's begin.
so
Yeah.
so Vishnu sir, mostly we will be going through with the Gremlin, if I'm not wrong, once we start.
I won't say Gremlin because whatever we do in Gremlin, we will do in Chaos Mesh also. Okay.
Okay, so we
So
will be touching
yeah,
both the Gremlin as well as
yes,
Chaos
both,
Mesh.
right? Both. But
Okay,
there are
that's great.
some things which is there only in Gremlin. For example,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, like scheduling is very good in Gremlin. Chaos Mesh
Mm,
has scheduling, but not people don't use it that much. Okay. Then second is scenario creation is good in Gremlin. Okay. Chaos Mesh not that
yeah,
perfect in scenarios. Okay. But
right.
if you see the number of attacks which Chaos Mesh has is better than Gremlin
Okay,
actually. Okay.
okay.
But
Mm,
only thing is again, see it's a paid tool, right? Gremlin. So the reliability of the tool is high of Gremlin.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, even in
Okay.
our
So
organization, they
mhm.
only prefer Gremlin.
Yeah, yeah. So that's there.
Yeah,
Yes. And then if you see, yeah, there are some minor changes, or I will say minor differences. And if you are into cloud, then there is no difference. But if you're into, let's say, bare metal systems, like or like on premise, right? In there, Chaos Mesh becomes little less active compared to Gremlin. Gremlin is more better if you have a on premise systems and all. Okay.
yeah.
Anyways, we will see all this. Okay, as we progress. Right. Okay. So now let's dive into our sessions. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all, right?
Not yet. Yeah, I mean it is load. I think it is loading. Yeah.
Yeah. The market is changing very dynamically. Okay, so be keep following different, especially the LinkedIn. Okay, it's really good. So try to be more available on LinkedIn compared to Instagram, Facebook. Okay, that will be helpful for you all. Make it a bit because market is becoming very dynamic and with also with the advent of AI and all, new tools are coming into market, which is not only tools, even how the market is getting disrupted by. Uh, okay, just assume like this because initially to learn a language, like for example, if you are a developer, you need to learn a whole language to develop something. But now with the AI, it has become very easy, right? They don't need to learn everything, just they need the idea and what they are building, and they just build, right? So so that's becoming very so it's disrupting market like anything. So keep learning. Just a minute, I'm just starting my mini cube. I'll explain you what I'm doing, but for now I will be just showing you the how we run an attack in Gremlin. Okay, but all these things what we are doing, even how we install minikube, how we why do we use minikube and all those, right? We will learn. Okay, and what is minikube, right? So all those in the slowly in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so whatever I do here, everything you will be doing in your machine. Okay, nothing, even not even a percentage what I do, you will not do. Okay, you will do everything, all the materials, everything I'll be providing you. I want all of you to do it, because in that way you all will be able to grasp things in depth. Okay, so let it start.
So
In
Vishnu, so
that,
when will we,
yeah, good.
yeah, when will we have the setup session so that all the setup will be ready on our machine so that we can follow whatever you are saying?
It
Practice
will be, I guess, fourth or fifth day,
fifth
Nagaraj.
day. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jatin, for your reactions. That's good. Even others can also use that, so that I'm also aware that you're all getting the points. Or if, and also, yeah, stop me anytime. I don't mind interrupting. Okay, if you are getting any point or it's going above your head, or like you feel okay, somewhere I'm getting confused, stop me anywhere. Okay, I don't mind if our time also increases over the time. Okay, because for queries I'm always there, so just interrupt me. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So till the mini cube starts. Oops. By mistake, I clicked not really. Maybe Microsoft will not like it. Yes. Okay. So this is how the Gremlin dashboard will look like. Okay. And so basically Gremlin works, it's like a paid tool, as I said, and very widely used tool also when chaos engineering, because the reason behind that is, though it's a paid tool, but the organizations who implement chaos engineering, they are really serious about it. Okay, so when they are really serious about it, most of the time paid tools are okay for them. Okay, but there are some organizations, or maybe like let's say a percentage of organizations who are like in the initial stage, like a POC, or they want to know what is the outcome from chaos engineering, so they go with the open source tool because they don't want to pay for a paid version and all, right? So they go with that. And there are some organizations who are not that uh, worried about chaos, or like what we can say, they're not serious, that much serious about chaos, so they just try to implement again open source, because so that they don't want to spend much on chaos engineering, but still they want to do it, so they do it. So yeah, so these three categories. But as I said, people who are serious, the projects which are serious, and even POCs also, some POCs they do in Gremlin, and Gremlin is a leading tool in chaos engineering. Okay. Now here, generally in chaos engineering, we say experiments. Okay. So when you are doing some attack or something, we call it an experiment. Okay. We don't say test. We say it experiment. Now, can anyone of you say what's the difference between a test and an experiment? Anyone?
What is the difference between test and experiment? Uh,
Yes.
Experiment is something you know intentionally we introduce something and we see how it is going to behave if I introduce certain things
Hmm.
intentionally.
Okay.
And test is something where we know the expected outcome and we
Hmm.
perform the testing accordingly.
Can okay. So the expected outcome is known in which, is it
Test,
uh, test? Okay. So in
yeah.
experiment we don't know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why we are calling it as experiment.
Exactly, right? So that
Yeah.
is true. Any other point? So one is the outcome, right? We don't know the outcome for experiment. For test we know it. Okay. Anything else? Differences which you can, because this will lead you to the answer, what is how the chaos engineering is different from testing. Okay, because in chaos engineering we don't use the word testing, it's always experiments. So can a test include experiments?
Yeah.
Yes, right. So see,
Yeah.
simple. So when you are performing an experiment, you never know what will be the outcome. It's more like a chemistry experiment, right? When you do a chemistry experiment, you drop some acid with some another acid, and what's coming out of it, we never know. So it's like an experiment, right? But in test, we have built something and we are testing it, right? So we know what should be the outcome. Now if the outcome differs, then we need to dig deeper, like where we did the mistake, right? There's a difference between both. Experiment is not due to a mistake, but we also don't know what is going to happen, right? But there in test, it's not like that. We know, okay, this is what we are expecting and it should come, right? So in chaos engineering, we are not expecting anything. I mean, like, there are mm, like, we know, okay, what we need to achieve, okay, but we don't know what is coming. There's a difference, okay. So that's why we say experiment and we never use the word testing in chaos engineering, okay. So when you are using Gremlin dashboard to create an experiment, you click on new experiment. But before that, okay, if you see here, host is 0, container 0, Kubernetes 0, that means you haven't set up your agents on your system. So if you set up your agents somewhere, that will be visible here. Okay, either it will be host, container, or Kubernetes, right? So based on the system, it will be like visible here. But currently it's 0 because you haven't set up any agents. So to check where my agents are running or whether any agents are running, click on these agents here. So you can clearly see if any agents are running here, but all are like no agents are currently running, right? So now next is, so our mini cube is not running now, okay. So just all this I will show you, okay, as we progress, how to access, what are Kubernetes and all those, right? But for now, just I'm printing out the pods which are running in my server. I mean, like my minikube cluster. Okay, so what is minikube? So it's a local machine Kubernetes cluster. Just assume like that. So I will explain you in depth as we progress. Now it might be, if I explain also, you might have a lot of questions. So with the time constraints what we have now for the demo and day one and all, I might not be able to showcase everything to you. But as we progress in the sessions, right, we will be seeing all this again, because even minikube, how I set up, right, that you don't know, but I will be showing you, okay. But for now, I want to showcase how the Gremlin works mainly, okay. Right, so now next is uh, okay, what first, before I go to that, uh, let me open AWS also. Just a minute, I'm opening AWS. Before I set up Gremlin onto a Kubernetes cluster, okay, anyways, so let me delete few pods, okay, here, to just make some space. I'll explain you what I'm doing and all later. But at this stage, we don't need few things. I'm just deleting that. You don't need to do these things, okay, because anyways, you'll be doing it from scratch. So that time you will know what you need to keep and all. All are very easy commands, okay. All these, once you start doing, all are repetitive, like getting pods, deleting pods, everything easy. You'll learn that. Just I'm deleting it so that I get little extra CPU and memory out of it. Okay, so my Grafana and Prometheus pods are getting deleted, okay. So currently we don't need it for our current exercise what we are doing, so I'm just deleting those. Next, let's go to our file. So from our file, you will get access to all the codes and all, commands, okay? What we are doing and how we are doing and all. Yeah. So basically, first of all, we will create a namespace Gremlin, okay? So that our pod will be running in that agent will be running in that namespace, okay? So just these commands all you will get, okay? So you don't just need to copy and paste. Even in your project also, when you're doing, it will be very easy for you. Just you need to copy and paste. My screen is being shared, right? All of you? Anyone?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So if you see the namespace Gremlin has been created. Now next is what this is the command to install Gremlin onto a Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So that I will explain you what these things are and what's the significance of each. But out of this, there are two parameters you need to change. Okay, mainly. So one is the team ID and second is the secret. Okay, the two team ID and secret keys, and the other one is the name. Okay, this is the cluster Vishnu what you're seeing here. The other things I will explain you what these are. Okay, as we progress you'll understand what's the meaning of this true, this false and all. Okay, as we progress. So now the secret and team ID, let me quickly check if it is correct. Okay, because if it is not correct, my uh, gremlin will not be able to read my agent. Okay, so just go to the account settings, team settings, and there go to configuration. Okay, you will see the team ID and team secret. So let's do it on this team only. So just I will just copy the team ID and paste it. You will get access to this dashboard. Okay, soon I will give you access. I will add you to the team. Okay, so you'll be able to access this dashboard with all the functionalities. You will not have any restrictions. You'll be able to access everything. Okay, and this is a team secret. Now we will run this. Okay, so I am running it, I am installing it into the gremlin namespace. Okay, so see, you will get this error because if you haven't added the helm repo, because we are using helm to install it, right? So we need to add the helm repo. In case if helm is not that repo is not added, you will get that error. Okay, so what I will do is I'll quickly add the helm repo also. So these are the commands for that, to add the helm repos. These are very standard things, so you can use it anywhere. Okay, it's like it's not dependent on any system, because these are like, if you are using Kubernetes, these are standard. So you don't need to change anything. You just need to use the same command, but only some customization. Like as I said, the team ID and the team secret, right? So actually, you will learn all this, like how Gremlin, Chaos Mesh, AppDynamics. Actually, AppDynamics is not covered here, but it's not required for us. Jenkins and Grafana, Prometheus, right? All this. Okay, so you'll see Gremlin deployed. Now let's just do this. So our Gremlin agent is getting deployed, or it's getting created. Okay. So let's wait unless this becomes 1-1. I will explain you what's the importance of this status and how to read the logs, how to debug. So see, here the thing is, you are not a developer, right? We are into testing, or we are into engineering. So you don't need to know how we develop these things, but you need to know how we debug these things, right? So that level of understanding we need to get, so that you will get from here, right? How you debug, how you find the logs, how to read different issues, right? And what are different statuses, how do you identify issues? So those things we will try to learn. Okay, so we can see here. Now let's go to Gremlin. We go to agents. Are you able to see one agent now active? All of you able to see? Hello.
Yes, we can see.
Yes, yes.
Now if I go to experiments, click on new experiment. Are you seeing something like host 1 available, Kubernetes 64 available and all, which was actually 0 initially, right? When we were doing, right? And also if you see the cluster, you can see choose a cluster, and this cluster Vishnu, where did you see? If you remember the code which we used, anywhere, remember, right? When we were installing Gremlin using the Helm, we saw this, we declared this name, right? Cluster vision. Now in this, if you see further, you can see your pods, what all pods are there, deployments, what are there. So now you can run some attacks on this. Like for example, front end, if you choose, okay, if you choose front end, and if you choose a Gremlin, now in the choose a Gremlin, you'll find different attacks which are there, like the resource attack, state attack, network attacks. If you choose resource, so there is, see, it's not that straightforward. You're running an attack. Okay, you don't do it blindly. In chaos engineering, it has to be planned. Planned means, um, can I just run any attack for any service or any system? Can I do that? Anyone?
No, I guess.
Yeah, there has to be some justification, right? Like why you are running CPU attack, or why you are running a network attack, or why you are running a black hole attack, right? So what is it that you are trying to achieve from that? It's not that you're just attacking and seeing, because that will be like a waste of time. This 12 attacks into, like, let's say 10 systems, 120 attacks. No, you don't need to do that, right? This 12 attacks, and you have 10 systems. So out of this 12 attacks, let's say each 10, you will do 1-1-1, right? Then only 12 experiments you need to do. So there's a difference, right? In planning and non-planning, and the outcome also, like what are you trying to do from that. So that we need to understand, right? Why I am doing CPU attack, and okay, let's say I have a DB, why I am running a latency attack, or let's say I have a dependent services, why I am doing a black hole attack. So there's a difference between all this, right? We need to understand that. So, and yeah, anyways, so you choose a CPU attack, then you can choose the length, then the CPU capacity, what you're expecting, the cores, and then you can just run the experiment, right? So that's how you generally um, run the experiment in Gremlin. So the experiment runs. and you will be able to observe this on the on your cluster. Okay, the CPU utilization and all, you'll be able to observe it in your cluster. So okay, so see, you can see the CPU memory and all, and if you see the front end, what is the CPU utilization of front end now? Anyone? Is it higher compared to other pods in the system? I will
Yes, yes,
explain
I
all of
can.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pods, water, like microservices, anyways, little bit we saw, but water pods, water containers, everything you'll try to, you will get the understanding. Okay, but for now, just I wanted to show you how the attack happens. Okay, and how you can really see that attack is happening. If you see clearly, the CPU cores of other system and front end is high, right? Front end, because we are running the attack on the front end. If you see, right, when we chose uh, the pod, right, we had chose the front end pod, right? So that's what you are seeing in our result also. The CPU utilization is higher, right? Now if you see again, like there are a lot of things behind this which we will explain. I will explain you, and I will show you. Okay, now if I run it again, you will see something peculiar. Now what is the utilization? Anyone? Why is the utilization low now and it was high here? Why? Here if you see, the front end now has come back to normal, right? But here if you see, it was high. Why?
Because you stopped the experiment, I guess.
Right, my experiment is done, right? If you see, it was just for 60 seconds. I did my experiment and the experiment was successful. It got stopped at 9:42, right? Now it's around 9:44, and so that's what you're seeing. So my system has come back to normal. So this is also one of the important behavior of any chaos engineering tool. Okay, that once you do the attack, the chaos engineering tool should also not leave anything behind, which is very important. Are you getting my point? So see, let's say you did an attack, okay, and it performed attack. But what if that tool itself will implement, will inject something that my system is not able to come back? Are you getting my point? So your chaos engineering tool has to be reliable, right? To revert the changes, what you're doing. Clear? Are you getting my
Oh,
point?
so
Hmm.
so is it the sim like these features are same in both the tools in Gremlin and the mesh, chaos
Yeah, so
mesh?
that's where the paid tool comes into picture, right? Gremlin
Mm-hmm.
actually is little better in this reliability term. Like for example, sometimes when you do chaos mesh activities or any other open source tools, uh, I will say 90% of time nothing will happen, but some 10% of time what will happen is sometime that attack will get stuck, right? So you will have to remove the attack manually. So which we will learn, right? Like how to do it or how to restart the agent, right? Manually. But in Gremlin, that will not happen. So they are very good at that, handling that behavior of the system. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So I wanted to anyway showcase that CPU attack to all of you, and there are multiple other attacks which you can do on various pods, services, and all those. We will learn all this. Even on a whole CPU, right? So here we are attacking pod. You can attack a whole CPU also, okay, if you want. So there are multiple things you can play around with, you can do, okay, and but it should be all planned, and unplanned we never do. So yeah, in going ahead we will learn, okay, different procedures, how we plan, how we identify the use cases, how to read an architecture, and for what service what attack, what service what attack. So even I will provide you a table which will make some cheat sheet sort of thing, which will make your life simpler. by just going through the cheat sheet, you will know, okay, for this service, which attack I need to use, and what are the metrics you need to capture for that service, okay, or that component, and what outcome you need to look for, right? So all those things. Any questions, anyone till now? I know this might be little overwhelming for you all because we are just jumping into, like, let's say fifth or seventh session, because I just wanted to showcase these to you all so that you know how chaos engineering is really in action, right? If I show you theory, or if I just teach you theory, you might not see what's happening, right? So I wanted to show you this, but it's a high jump, right? So you need to have some basics, which we will learn from tomorrow and upcoming days, right? We'll start with the foundation and setting up, obviously, all these things. Any questions, Jatin, Sagar, Nagaraj, Vishnu, Prem, Survi? I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes,
What
yeah, Vishnu.
price
So,
for this Gremlin? Like, is it based on the pods or is it based on the?
Yeah. So see, in our course, how we will start is we will not be jumping into Kubernetes as soon as, right? We will start with host, we will go to containers, then we will go to Kubernetes. As I said, this is a high jump, just because I wanted to show you how the Kubernetes works and how easy it is to set up Gremlin, okay, onto a cluster and all. But if you see, we will go first with the host agent, how you set up agent, how you attack a host. Second, we will understand what are Dockers, what are containers, how the Dockers work, how the containers work, what are containers, right? Then we will do attacks on the container, right? Once that is done, then we will move on to Kubernetes, and we'll try to understand different Kubernetes pods, services, deployments, what are services, what are pods, how you pick up the logs of Kubernetes, right? Because as a tester, I'm not developing anything, so I'm interested in debugging, right? So I need to understand how you read the logs, how you print out the logs, or how you monitor in Grafana, Prometheus, so those things.
Uh, so Vishnu, while doing this, experiment, I'm just trying to summarize. We we install Gremlin on the agent, which is there which is there in the cluster initially, or
we are
am I?
we are installing Gremlin agent onto the cluster.
Okay, we install Gremlin agent onto the cluster. Okay. Hmm.
Yes. Okay. So cluster is already there. Even in your project also, it will be already there, right? That's your
Yeah.
application, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Right.
what
Right.
you do
Yeah.
is you install the Gremlin agent onto that cluster or the namespace. For example,
Got it.
like what happens is when you are in your project, you will not get access to all the namespace. It might be dev
Yes.
or it might be perf, right? So what you do is you just install that agent onto that namespace where you want Gremlin to crawl, right? And
Got it.
obviously,
Got it.
based on the options and attributes what you set, this all these things I will explain you. The
And
Gremlin,
then that. Yeah. Sorry. Go on. Yeah.
yeah, so Gremlin will get the access. Like for example, if you say collect the processes, it will be able to collect the processes. Otherwise, it will not, right?
Right.
So that,
And then using that Gremlin agent, we performed all these attacks. Right.
yes,
Mm.
yes. So that agent has to be running so that when you click on that GUI, right, run the experiment or something, that agent
Mm.
has to be running to do that work. What
Got
you're doing,
it. Got it.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And agent doesn't collect any data, okay? So we don't need to
Okay.
worry about, like, okay, will it collect the data or something? But it's just simple. It will do some operations like to increase the CPU, to increase the memory, which we will learn, okay? How it
So
performs these attacks. Yeah.
yeah. So for example, while running this experiment initially,
Mhm.
in our organization, and let's say if Gremlin agent shut downs a pod or does something wrong with the
Mhm.
running pods in our staging environment or test
Yeah.
environment, but as soon
Mhm.
as we shut down all these attacks, will the pod will come to a life, or how it will happen?
Yes. So see, when you are running an attack or when you are experimenting something, the main
Hmm.
objective is to find the flaw, right? So if your
Yes,
pod is not coming up, that's a flaw, right? So
of
that's a
course.
good
Yeah.
thing. You have found
Hmm.
out the
Yeah,
issue in the system, right?
yeah. Got it.
So
Got it. Yeah.
either you need to roll it back, right? So that you
Hmm.
get to the and you study why it happened, okay? And you
Hmm.
fix it. So
Yes.
yes, and but Gremlin won't trouble your system in any way, okay?
No, of course. I mean, it won't. But as soon
Yeah.
as we stop the attacks,
Yes.
whatever
Correct.
CPU, high CPU or high
It
memory,
should
it
come
will
back.
come.
Hmm.
Yeah, it will come back,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Right. Yes. Come back to normal.
Will Gremlin give the uh, what we can say suggestions like why what happened, and it help us to
That
Logs,
find the root
right?
actually
cause?
We're talking about logs. Yeah.
currently, yeah, currently no, but might be in the near future because I closely work with this Gremlin community also. So what they because I'm like a beta team. Okay, so before they release anything, they that's what you're seeing. I have the enterprise license also, right? So it's more sort of what we do is currently, we are working on an AI concept also, where what they are doing is they're implementing AI to give suggestions, right? So that matches with the Prem's doubt, right? But it has time. Currently, no, okay, recommendations and all, but it will come in the near future.
But it must be providing the logs and all, right,
Yeah,
Vishnu?
yeah, that is yeah,
Yeah.
that it
Mm.
gives logs and some details, what the error happened and all.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes, yes. But yeah, recommendation wise, no. So it will not say, okay, this is a problem and all, but that much
Mhm.
it like yeah, it's not that
Yeah.
intelligent. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, I feel that the toughest part would be the configuration. But once you are familiar with the configuration
correct.
and
Hmm.
all, once the initial setup is done, maybe the further
Yes,
road should be easy. You know.
exactly, correct. And this configuration also, you will feel it like a piece of cake if you go through the steps what I show you. Okay,
Hmm.
because every step I will be going in detail so that when you're doing in a project, if it's a Kubernetes cluster, if it's a host or a
Yeah.
container,
Yeah.
concept will
Yeah.
remain same, right? So you just need to push in the code, change small customizations which I say, right, based on your
Mhm.
project. That's
Mhm.
it. It will work. Okay, so it will be very easy for you. Not a big deal because that's as you said, configuration is what the little bit of a difficult part if you're doing it alone, right?
First time.
But
Yeah. Hmm.
yes, yeah. Mm. Because
Okay.
that you said exactly correct. At least daily, I will get around 2 to 3 messages with a error screenshot. Okay, and that error screenshot will be from the step of installation.
Yes.
Most of the
Mm.
yeah. So yes, so that's once that's done, then the other Gremlin is a piece of cake. Okay, you just the GUI and a lot of you just need to know to set up some golden signals, how you set up a
Yeah.
scenario. But yeah, obviously the story of Gremlin doesn't start or end with Gremlin. You need to know chaos engineering a bit, right? Because
Yes.
you cannot run just randomly any attack or any. There has to be justifications. There has to be some logic behind doing everything, right?
Yes, I mean, that is something I have seen. I mean, once you understand the architecture of your product or application,
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
example, there is auto scaling group.
Hmm.
If you are aware that there is auto scaling group, then
Yeah.
you will
Hmm.
get to know, okay, this is something I need to run this kind of attack. I'm not going to run all 12 kind of attack. So
Right.
I believe,
Yeah.
I feel that you should understand at least the
Architecture.
architecture of your
Hmm.
application, and then you can take a call on what kind of a scenario I need to run.
Correct, correct. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And
Mm.
also a little bit of rule of thumb, right? So
Yeah.
based on the experience, you will learn few things, right? Like, okay, this is the system. This is where the problem generally lies, right? So
Hmm.
yes. So
Yeah. Got it.
yeah, so I keep like what I do is I just keep some sort of tables or more sort of like a lookout table where I know, okay, these are the systems, these are the most critical areas which I need to look into, and these are the attacks which I need to do, right? So
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds
Any other
exciting.
questions, Sagar, Nagraj?
Yeah,
Vishnu, Prem,
I have
Suji.
a question.
Yeah, Nagraj.
So the dashboard that you have shown is
Hmm.
not the client side, right? It's the Gremlin's own website.
Yes, yes. It's so you don't need to it's not on your it's a Gremlins website. Yes.
But so what about the securities? Because the data
Hmm.
packets been
No, that's what. So see, Gremlin agent is the only thing running. It's more sort of like AppD, right? AppDynamics agent runs in your system, but
okay.
AppDynamics will be running on their server. I mean, like on their website, right?
Hmm.
Where you accessed it. Similar to that, similarly, this is like an agent only. It will not collect any data from you. It
Okay.
will be just pushing the in failures. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Survi, any questions? Vishnu, Prem.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. So if no more questions, let's stop it here for today, and we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll come back to little bit of chaos engineering concepts like different principles and how you identify different test cases, use cases. So basically, more sort of it will help you with the fundamentals in test planning. Okay, how you plan your tests, how you perform chaos engineering activities, right? Because generally you will be the person who will be doing that, so you might not get much of a help in planning, right? So you need to know like how generally we plan, right? So that will help you in planning and all, and we'll start with the fundamentals tomorrow for that planning and how you perform the activities and all. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all, and have a very good day, good night, and meet you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Vishnu. Bye.
Thank you.